In this video, I'm going to be reviewing this rechargeable air compressor, and it's mainly made for stand-up paddle boards that you inflate or kayaks. But you can also use this thing to inflate other items such as any kind of water toys that are that you would air up. Let's just open the box up and see what we have. Now, I'll be honest with you, when I first got this thing, I was really impressed with the size of this dude. Look at the size of this box. I mean, this thing is huge. So I was expecting something a little bit smaller, because you can't really tell looking at pictures. You can't really gauge how large something is. First thing I noticed is in a pretty nice carry case. So that's a pretty neat deal. There's nothing else in the box there. Let's set that off to the side. This box. And then we'll open this up. This is a nice case, really nice case. It has a double zipper on it. And go ahead and open it up, and there again, this compressor is big. It's large. So let me get that out. And this is your plug-in adapter. Now that has to be plugged in to 110 volts, and then of course there's your other end that goes into your air pump. But you do have to have 110 power. You can't charge on 12 volts. That would be nice to be able to do that if you had a 12 volt feature. Here's all your hoses and your adapters and things that you would use to air up your inflatables. And then this is your instruction booklet. Let's go ahead and set this to the side. Like I said, this case, it's pretty nice. It's a little padding in there, not a lot, but it is some. And then of course you have that little mesh enclosure there, and then a carry strap. So it's pretty neat, and this thing comes apart. So yeah, it's got a pretty nice little carry bag. The pump itself here, it's not ultra heavy, but it's quite heavy. It's not lightweight by all stretch. It's fairly large, and there is a nice handle on it here to be able to carry it, so it's not unwieldy. It has some little rubber feet on it, so it doesn't, can help keep it from vibrating. Here, this is inflate, and then you have a deflate function, and you can hook that hose in whichever one you want. And then it has these different adapters that you would use for your kayaks, paddle boards, and then of course just regular hoses that you would use for your inflatables and stuff. So I tell you, overall, it looks like a pretty impressive product. I'm really excited to see how well this thing does when we use it to air up something. I have a big inner tube. Use this thing to inflate it, and I tell you what, that thing holds a lot of air. So we're gonna really put this thing to the test. Okay, a couple other features I wanted to show you on this air compressor. When you turn it on, you just hold this button down, and it comes on. And you'll notice you have your battery capacity here. This is your real actual PSI, and then you can set your PSI here with these plus and minus buttons, and it looks like it goes up about a half a pound each time, and then back down a half a time or each time. And then you can change whether you want the PSI or bar. That's Europe or American standards, whatever. And then here's a button for your light on the front, and you just press that button, and you notice the little lights on the front there, and then of course press it and they go back off. For flash, yeah, they flash, and then press it again, they go off. The buttons, the lights aren't that bright, but it's pretty neat if you're working on something in the dark, airing something up or whatever, gives you just another little light source there. And of course, the way this thing works, like I said, you just press this button, and then to turn it off, you just hold your button down, and it goes off. So anyway, just wanted to show you those couple of things. Pretty neat little features. And like I said, this overall, this is a pretty nice compressor. Works very well. Now on your charging, it has a port here on the side, and if you pull it out, you notice you have two USB ports here. You can use these two ports to charge your phone up or whatever, which is a really cool deal to have. if you have this thing out with you at the beach or at the lake or wherever, and your phone starts dying or your batteries need to be charging on your phone, you can charge USB devices up with this right here. Now, you'll notice on your cord here, this is your charger cord. This is the end that goes into the unit. If you're not careful, now, of course, if you read your instructions, you shouldn't have any problem. But you don't see anywhere on here for this charger cord to go. Because when you pull this up, there's just a USB connection in there. But what you need to do is you need to pull this on out. And you'll notice there's your charging port for your cord. See, and if you don't pull this all the way out, let me show you what I'm talking about. See, when this thing see, there you go. It's like this, you know. So when you pull this out to access your USB, this plug doesn't come out all the way, and so you can't really see your charging port under there. You just see these two USB ports, and you look like I did all over it, and you can't find the charging port. But if you pull this all the way on out, see, another little click there, and there's your charging port. So just wanted to point that out because, you know, sometimes I'm bad about I don't read all the instructions when it's something that's fairly simple like this. You know, I like to kind of figure things out at first. In this video, I'm going to be using this air pump to air up this big tube here. And this thing holds quite a bit of volume of air. And we're going to see how well this thing does, this pump does, how long it takes, and such as that. So we'll get this thing up and going and see how it does. Okay, so in order to air this tube up, I need to determine which fitting it's going to take to plug in and use it with a hose. This is the fitting I'm going to need here. And the next thing is you'll want to hook your hose up here to your air compressor, and then this air compressor hose hooks to this. Okay, so I have everything hooked up and ready to go, and I've got a timer here. We'll time it and see how long it takes, and we'll get everything going here. Thing's not really it's not real quiet, but it's not ultra noisy either. But, okay, so I cut it off on 4 minutes because the inflatable, the tube is it's up plenty. It's got plenty of air in it to be able to use it, and of course I'll get the hose and all unhooked. But that's not bad. I mean, this thing is big and it takes a lot of air. So 4 minutes, that's pretty good to me. You know, it's not like super fast, but it's plenty sufficient enough to be able to use the pump, and it does a pretty good job of airing up a big inflatable like this. You know, I'm not sure. This thing probably, I would say, holds more air than a lot of your, you know, air up kayaks and stand up paddle boards and stuff like that, because it's just so big. I mean, it's 5 feet across and at least 5 feet, or actually a little bit more than 5 feet long. So and it's quite thick. I'd say it's probably 10 inches thick. So it takes quite a bit of air. And to me, the pump did a pretty good job. 4 minutes, that's pretty good. Another feature I wanted to show you on this thing is you can actually use it as a deflator. What you'll do is you'll hook your hose to the other side here, which is deflate. That's inflate over here. This side is inflate, this is deflate. The reason why it's important sometimes to be able to deflate something is if you've ever experienced any of these tubes or inner tubes, anything that you air up, you can never seem to get the air out of those things when you need to deflate them. So what this thing will do is it will actually deflate it, and it will clear all the air out of there, versus you having to sit there and fold it up and squeeze all the air out. This would be important for items such as air mattresses and things such as that, which are large and bulky. And then, of course, like this tube here, for example. So anyway, we'll go ahead and get this thing cranked up and get it going. Okay, so I went ahead and cut it off. It's relatively flat. What you do in a situation like this, if you're using it to deflate something, is you'll fold that product up, whether it's an air mattress or something like this, and that helps get that air, more of that air out of there. But the pump did pretty well. I mean, this timer's still running, but I shut it off. It was a little more than 4 minutes, so but that's not bad. But again, like I said, most times if you use it to deflate something, you get most of the air out of there to begin with. I just kind of wanted to see how well it would do. And then also I wanted to show you on the pump here how much power, battery power it used. It's down about 1 bar, so not bad. That's not bad at all for we used it for 8 minutes.